Hey there, YouTube family. So let me tell you a bit about how I like to learn. If I have a casual interest in something, or if I'm trying to learn something in which the consequences of getting it wrong are not really a big deal, then I'll browse some blog posts, I'll maybe listen to a podcast episode or two, I might scroll some forums, but it's not really a big thing. If I'm trying to learn how to make a mushroom risotto from scratch, or if I'm trying to learn how to make a strawberry banana smoothie, and I get it wrong, if I screw that up, I can live with that mistake. It's not a crazy 5-figure or 6-figure mistake. But if I'm trying to learn something that really matters, that matters to my life, to my source of income, to my retirement, if I'm trying to learn something that has 5-figure or 6-figure consequences, like investing or starting a business or buying a rental property, then I want something more serious than casually scrolling the internet. I want the structure and support and accountability of a class. I want a teacher who is there to guide me. I want teachers' assistants who can give me attention and answer the questions that I have. I want small group accountability with my peers so that I stay on track. I'm moving through the lessons along with the rest of my class. I'm doing the homework. I want quizzes that test my knowledge along the way. I want forums in which I can interact with other students. I want spreadsheets. I want checklists. I want worksheets. I want flowcharts that show me how I will be moving through this project and that branch off depending on different decisions that I make and show me how those next steps change based on choices that I make along the process. I want that kind of structure and support. I want lessons to build upon other lessons, previous lessons, so that way I know that I'm giving myself the best possible chance to learn what I'm doing so that I do it right, so that I don't end up making an easily avoidable or easily preventable rookie mistake. And so for that reason, my team and I built a course called Your First Rental Property. It is the course that I would have wanted when I was starting out. It took us 3 years to develop this course, and we're very, very proud of how it came out. In this video that you're about to see, we will talk about everything that's inside the course. If you're interested in investing in rental properties, check out this video, and if you want to learn more about the course, head to affordanything.com/enroll. That's affordanything.com/enroll. See you in class. Will this course help me figure out if I want to get into real estate versus if I want to stick with other types of investments? All right, so let's say that you're not sure whether or not you want to invest in rental properties. You've heard a bunch of people talk about it. Freaking every forum that you're on, people are talking about it. Everything that you read, people, it's like there's so much chatter about it, but do you really want to? Is it right for you? Because on one hand, passive income sounds appealing, and you do want to reach financial independence. On the other hand, I don't know, it's kind of scary, and it's a lot of money, and you're not handy, and there's nothing cheap in your area, so it would have to be out of state, and just kind of sounds like a big hassle. Wouldn't it just be easier to invest in index funds? But on the other hand, wouldn't it be nice to diversify? I totally get feeling ambivalent about whether or not you should invest in rental properties. And if you've been grappling with this question and you're not quite sure what the answer is, enrolling in a course that deep dives into rental property investing, that's going to answer your question once and for all. At the end of the course, it's a 10-week-long course. At the end of those 10 weeks, you can put this question to bed. You will know for sure if this is right for you or not. By the end of a 10-week course, if you go through all the material, you will be so intimately familiar with what investing in rental properties is going to entail, especially if you're doing it out of state or you're house hacking or any special situation like that. Like, you will have such a clear idea of what it will entail that you're going to know. Whether it's right for you or not, you're going to know. And the thing is, if you are one of the people who's lucky enough and smart enough, wise enough to take a course to decide whether or not it's right for you, hats off to you, congratulations, because you know how most people do it? It's scary, it's how most people screw it up. Most people who aren't sure whether or not they want to, they decide they'll maybe buy a house in order to give it a try, right? Think about that for a second. They're not sure if they want to do it, so they buy a house to try it, but they don't even really know what they're doing. Like, they don't properly know how to analyze properties. So they buy the wrong house. They buy a house that doesn't have great returns, or that has a neighborhood risk profile that doesn't fit their risk tolerance. They don't know what they're doing. And then they buy a house, and then it's not even a very good one. And then they don't like it, and plus it's not making any money. And so then they sell it, and then guess what's just happened? They've lost thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in transaction costs, closing costs, real estate commissions, opportunity costs of not having that money invested elsewhere and having it tied up in this poorly chosen property that you don't even like. Buying a property just because, in order to give it a go, is a really terrible way to figure out whether or not you want to be a rental property investor. It's an expensive, time-consuming, headache-inducing way to figure out what you don't want to do. It's kind of like going to college and majoring in something that you don't really even want to major in. Like, you're not interested in the topic, but your parents wanted you to major in it, and so you do. And like your freshman and sophomore year, you like slog through the courses, but you hate it. And then junior year comes around and you're like, I'm done, I can't do this anymore. And so then you change majors as a junior, and now you're gonna be like an undergrad for 5 years, right? Like, we've all met those kids, or maybe you were one of those kids. And that's a very expensive way to figure out what you don't want to do. Congratulations to you for not getting embroiled in sunk cost fallacy. Congratulations to you for figuring it out and making the change. Because, like, if you're going to rip the Band-Aid off, rip the Band-Aid off. But still, going down the wrong path is expensive. Going down the wrong path ultimately costs more money at the end. And so if you're not sure if you want to invest in rental properties, then my advice to you is don't figure it out the expensive way. Don't figure it out by going down the wrong path and then course correcting. Instead, take a class in rental property investing. And by the end of that class, you'll know. Who should enroll? Your first rental property is designed for beginner, first-time real estate investors in the United States who want to buy and hold residential rental property. It takes you step by step through all of the processes that you need to know in order to go from a beginner to an investor. Is there anyone who should not buy this course? Yes. Yeah, there are people who shouldn't buy this. First of all, if you have really high interest credit card debt, or if this course is going to be a financial burden in your life, don't get it. Pay off your credit card debt first. Build your emergency fund first. If you are in a financially precarious position, do not get this course. Take care of yourself first. Second, this course is designed for people who live in the U.S. and who want to buy residential rental property in the U.S. You don't have to live in the U.S. at the time that you take the course, as long as you plan on returning to the U.S. to invest there. That's fine. So if you are temporarily living overseas for a year or two, but eventually you plan on coming back to the United States, and that's where you plan on holding your rental properties, that's who this course is designed for. It's designed for people who buy and hold rental properties in the United States. This course is not for people who want to flip houses, invest in commercial real estate like offices or mobile home parks, invest in bare land, or who want to learn how to invest in foreign countries like Malaysia or Costa Rica. This course, when I say that it was designed for people in the US, what I mean is that all of our conversations around taxes, laws, even the banking system, all of that conversation is extremely US-based. We don't cover landlord-tenant law in Alberta. I don't know what that is. But the high-level concepts around how to think about properties, how to analyze properties, math is math everywhere. So the high-level concepts on how to analyze a property, how to find a good deal, like the techniques that you use for searching for a good deal, regardless of what market you're in, those high-level concepts can be applicable anywhere, but specifics about laws, taxes, banking, the financing system, federal housing, fair housing law, anything that references laws or banking is specifically going to reference the legal system and the banking system in the United States. We hear from a lot of people who say, hey, Paula, I live in a high cost of living area. If I were to invest in rental properties, I would have to invest out of state. That's the only reasonable way to do it. but I'm not totally sure I'm comfortable with that. I might be open to it, but I don't know. So can this course help my situation? Welcome to the club. Can it help? Are you kidding? Hundreds of our students are out-of-state investors or aspiring out-of-state investors. If you are thinking about investing out of state and you join this course, you will be part of a community of students, many of whom are investing out of state. We do not make any assumptions about whether you're buying locally versus out of state, and we do not make any assumptions about whether you are house hacking or not. We've intentionally designed all of our material in a way that it applies to all of those situations. And at the times in which we need to make a special lesson or a special call out specifically for out-of-state investors or house hackers, we do that. We do that all across the course. A lot of people who live in high cost of living areas are in that difficult position in which they have a high income, which is great. They have savings, they have discretionary income that they can invest, and they want to invest in real estate. They don't want to put all of their money in equities. Equities are great. The index funds are amazing, but they don't want to put every single penny of their net worth there. So they want to diversify by holding a few rental properties. But they live in San Francisco or Chicago or New York or DC or Boston or San Diego, places where you have jobs that pay really well, but not good places for owning rental properties. And so it's super common to live in San Diego and own rental properties in Louisville, Kentucky, or to live in Seattle and own rental properties in Muncie, Indiana, or to live in Boston and own rental properties in Birmingham. If that's what you're into, this course will answer any questions that you have about how to do that, how to find those properties, how to build a team from out of state, how to manage the property from out of state. This course will walk you step by step through that process. I'd like to buy a property in the next 2 to 3 years, but I don't have a down payment saved yet. Should I enroll? Yes, and congratulations on getting a head start. This is an excellent time to learn how to analyze, find, and finance deals. If you start learning 2 to 3 years before you're ready to buy, you'll be super knowledgeable and confident by the time you've saved your down payment. And if you're ready to buy a rental property soon, like this year, then this is a critical time to learn how to choose a great rental property, because so much of your success is going to come at the very beginning when you choose that property. So choose well. This course will teach you how. I'm a first-time home buyer and know next to nothing about the buying process. Will this course help me out? We have plenty of students who come to us and say, hey, this isn't just my first rental property. This is my first property, period. Like, I myself am a renter, and instead of buying a personal residence for myself, I'm going to make my first purchase a rental property, or I'm going to make my first purchase a house hack. So yes, this course was written with absolute beginners in mind. We explain everything in great detail. As an example, we have a huge reference guide, more than 50 pages, that reviews what you are actually physically getting when you buy a home. And it reviews what to look for and what to stay away from as you search for a rental property. Like, we've created everything so that people who are brand new, even brand new to the world of owning property, can learn a ton about how to find a property, how to negotiate for it, how to go under contract, how to renovate it. This course is useful for anyone buying residential property. You'll get a lot of insight into the general home buying process. And once again, as I've mentioned before, you have lifetime access to the course. So you can always return to the material when you're ready to start investing. Is the course useful for people who already have rental properties? We get a lot of people who ask us, you know what, your course is called Your First Rental Property, but I'm ready to buy my second or third rental property. Would this course still be useful for me? My answer is that it depends on what you're looking for. If you want to improve your systems, your processes, the way in which you analyze and find and finance and manage your properties, then yes, absolutely. But remember, there's no such thing as some advanced secret, right? Anyone who claims to be some fancy guru who knows special information that you don't, anyone who tries to sell you something like that is lying. They're full of poopity poop because there are no advanced secrets, right? There is just thinking and framework and philosophy and strategy and approach that comes from a combination of learning, formal learning, book learning, and experience. What we bring to the course is a heck of a lot of learning. Like this course in one consolidated chunk, one consolidated course is everything that I would have wanted to know when I was starting out. That's what you're going to get in this course. If you're buying your second property or your third property and you want to become a better investor, this course is going to help you. But if you're looking for some advanced secret of the gurus, those don't exist. And any real estate seminar selling salesman in a suit who says that they've got secrets, they don't. Can my significant other and I take the course together? Yeah, totally. If you have a spouse or a partner and you want to invest in rental properties, well, I hope that that person is on board. If they're not, this course can help them answer some of their questions that they have about rental property investing or assuage some of their fears or anxieties around rental property investing. If you want to invest in rental properties and you have a spouse or partner, then y'all are doing it together. Even if it's just you taking the lead, they, at a minimum, need to be okay with the fact that you're doing it. We very much encourage spouses and partners to take the course together, to talk to each other about their investment goals and lifestyle goals. What's our family goal for the number of properties that we want to own? 2, 3, 5, 10, 20? That's the type of conversation that we encourage you to have with your spouse and partner. And so the two of you taking this course together can facilitate that. So yes, absolutely. Only one of you needs to enroll. And welcome. Welcome to the community. How many Your First Rental Property students or alumni buy their first property shortly after taking the course? We surveyed our students on when they plan to buy their first rental. So at the point at which they enroll in the course, how far from that point do they want to or plan to or hope to purchase their first rental property? Here's what they said. 46.7% plan to buy within the next 6 to 12 months. 20% plan to buy within 1 to 3 months. 17.3% plan to buy after 1 year or more. And 16% plan to buy within 3 to 6 months. So as you can see, the vast majority of students who enroll in the course don't plan on buying their first rental property right away. And that makes it difficult to answer the question, how many students buy their first property after taking the course, as many of those students are in the research and planning and saving for a down payment stages of the process. Furthermore, buying the right property is crucial to this process. Rushing to buy a property just for the sake of having one is dumb. It's just dumb, and it goes against everything that I teach. So getting spared from buying the wrong property is as important, if not more important, than buying the right one. I have had many students who have come to me and said, Paula, you spared me from buying the wrong house. And it is far better to avoid buying the wrong property than it is to rush into something, buy a property, and then get buyer's remorse 3 months later when you realize it was the wrong one. Why should I join? To save yourself from making an expensive mistake. I have made plenty of those. Learn from my mistakes, learn from the mistakes of others, because you can either learn from the school of hard knocks, or you can learn in an online classroom. Tuition for your first rental property is $9.97, about the cost of ordering 2 housing inspections. It is significantly less than what you'd pay for a single class at a 4-year college or university, and it's substantially less than the fees and closing costs of just one refinance. If this class can save you from losing or forfeiting $5,000 in an earnest money deposit, or if this class can teach you to negotiate for an extra $7,000 in closing cost concessions, Or if this class can prevent you from taking out the wrong type of loan and spending $3,000 in refinancing fees, then it will more than pay for itself. As you continue to make smart decisions about rental property investing, this course will pay for itself over and over again. If this class can spare you from buying the wrong rental property just once, it could save you from making a six-figure mistake. How can I enroll? You can enroll by going to courses.affordanything.com. We have open enrollment twice a year. You can join our VIP list at courses.affordanything.com, and by joining that list, you'll be the first to know when enrollment opens.